Hey everyone, welcome to Powertime. Let's have a listen to what's on today's show.
I never imagined that I'd be working in technology at a tech company. I'm really blessed with all the opportunities I've had from my teammates, my managers, my mentors, my sponsors. And I think we're really going to see a lot more digital labor. Your teammate is going to be an agent, or some of your teammates are going to be agents. We're going to be able to build so much, but you have to have good taste.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Here we go.
Get into it.
It's power time. Get ready, let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Power Time. My name is Scott Mennings. I'm joined here with my host, Matt Noble, and also a very special guest, Derah Onuorah. I hope I got that right. Derah. So Derah's never been on the podcast before, so it's fantastic to see that he's on, and we've got a whole bunch of things to talk about. He works in the product team in Seattle, but I won't probably do it enough justice. So Derah, over to you to do a bit of an introduction on who you are and what you do at Microsoft.
Yes. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Matt, for the opportunity to be on this amazing podcast. As Scott said, my name is Derah Onuorah, and I enjoy building products that customers love to use and find a lot of value from. I was told I have to say this fun fact, but my last name in my language means the voice of the people. So I also spend time evangelizing products, especially products in the Power Platform, and just sharing a lot of the learnings that I have when using AI tools. Currently, I'm a product manager at Microsoft, and I work on the intelligent automations team in the Power Platform. And right now, I'm focused primarily on building human-in-the-loop capabilities for agents and for agent flow. So how do we bring humans into the mix for guidance, for approval, for providing additional information for these autonomous agents and agentic workflows? Yeah, that's a little bit about me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you, Derah, and it's good to have you on the podcast. And of course, we caught up for a nice steak at the Mean Wine Co., I believe it was, a few months back in Australia. So it was good to have you in the country as well. All right, where do we start? I've got so much to unpack with with you and your career and where you're at. But that last name is amazing. It's a bit on a podcast.
Voice of the people. It was a calling, Derah. I think I can see it. I think you're right. Yeah. And you're on LinkedIn, very active on LinkedIn.
My last name's getting candy. I don't know what my last name means at all. And I'm with the voice of the people and the noble person, right? Like I feel like I need to find out what my last name means now. So you put the pressure on.
Ask ChatGPT. Deep research.
Yeah, it's good. I've never done that.
Make up a funny one, eh? We'll get ChatGPT to make you up a funny last name, nickname. But I think we've been started.
Maybe I can seed it with information. So if anyone types it in, it comes up with something that I've created.
Yeah.
See what happens.
So, Derah, you've had a bit of an amazing career to date and all of that kind of stuff. I think what our listeners like to listen to is, I guess, how people get into these roles and all of that kind of stuff. So it'd be really great to understand a bit about your journey to how you've got to where you are and the learnings and all of this kind of stuff. Because I think when we caught up originally, you said it's quite an interesting story. Yeah. So really interested to hear it. So over to you, mate, to answer that one.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's been an interesting story. I never imagined that I'd be working in technology at a tech company. The first internship I ever did was at the age of 15, and that was at a law firm. So I really wanted to be a lawyer. But then, getting to university, kind of seeing that, going down the path of law would take a long time, and I wanted to, get into the workforce and actually start having an impact. I transitioned into another field that I was very interested in, and that was the business area. So I did a major in finance, and I just kind of saw the trajectory of the world. Everything was technology based. Everything was moving towards technology. And I said, I'm going to have to double down and build some technology skills. So I picked up a minor in computer science, and that's how the story kind of started. And one thing I noticed about the tech community from the students I was interacting with at school in my computer science minor it was just very collaborative. I really enjoyed going to class because you have people who are not afraid to ask questions, who are not afraid to help. And, I considered a career in technology. Microsoft came to my school, McGill University in Montreal, and recruiters came, former interns came as well. So I had an opportunity to learn more about Microsoft and the different roles. And I stumbled across the product management role. I had never heard of it before, but it presented a fantastic intersection between business, business goals, business metrics, and technology. And that's kind of exactly what I was studying in school. I had a major in business and a minor in computer science. And so I fell in love with the idea of being able to lead products that will drive business metrics. So fast forward to the summer after that, I did my first internship at Microsoft. It's called the Explore internship. So for the first 6 weeks, you act as a PM, specking out the feature you're going to build, designing it, working with the team to figure out the metrics that you're targeting. And for the next 6 weeks after that, you have to sit down and actually write code. Or you have to sit down and write code for the things that you had spec'd out in the first 6 weeks. Now, unfortunately, this was during the pandemic, so I didn't have an opportunity to have the Microsoft intern experience. I did my internship remotely online, but luckily I was able to come back the year after that to do a PM internship. So the PM internship went well. I enjoyed the people I worked with, but I was looking for a new challenge. I was looking for a new space to target. And I just started doing my research across the company, and I kept hearing about the Power Platform and the business applications group. I just kept hearing about it over and over again. I said, let me try this space. Let me see if I can get an opportunity in this space, especially because with a business background, I could bring some of that business knowledge to build business products. So funny story, I started cold messaging people, cold messaging some VP, some senior leadership people. I played the intern card because I was an intern. I could message anybody I wanted. And, one person, Justin Graham, he's one of my mentors and sponsors. I really appreciate him. I had a meeting with him, and he brought me on to his team the year after I finished school. And that was a process mining team. So for the first, I think, year and a half or 2 years, I was working in the process mining space. If you're not familiar with it, it's the space that lets you analyze business processes to come up with optimizations. And then you go to the platform to use the tools in the platform to optimize those business processes. And after I did 2 years in process mining, I joined more broadly the intelligent automations team, focused on building agentic workflows and human in the loop capabilities. So it's been a very exciting journey. I still cannot imagine that I'm here right now working in this space. I would have never imagined it, but I'm really blessed with all the opportunities I've had from my teammates, my managers, my mentors, my sponsors. And I genuinely just love building things that customers would use. And I'm committed to keep doing that in this space and beyond.
It's an amazing story, Derah. I mean, what you've accomplished in the last few years, just a dream journey to go, through that process. And even it just shows, like, quite often at Microsoft, we do the early in career kind of support. We go out to universities and schools and whatnot, and chat about the different roles and things. And you never realize quite the impact until you talk to someone like yourself that's actually hearing it from the other side. Just really foundational and amazing. And to land in, what is
coolest
the hottest
space at the moment. The coolest space.
Talk about landing on your feet. I mean, that's just amazing. And of course, so Charles, I just saw on a blog today, is just announced we're supporting the new A2A protocol as well now, which is agent to agents. They're going to be able to talk to each other using an open source protocol. And Matt and I have spoken about this before on the past podcast. I think, it's kind of the logical next step is that you need this open framework, right, to communicate. So that's really exciting as well. And what do you see there? Like, I mean, you're not brand new, but you've got your career's a lot shorter than mine. I've been in it a long time. I'm not going to say how long, but where do you think that we're going to be in this space in the next 2 to 3 years? Because you're right in the middle of it, right? Where do you think we'll be?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think everything I'll say now, I'm sure we don't know. None of us know what's going to happen in the future. We can only kind of speculate. But
yes,
to the first point you made, I think we're really going to see a lot more digital labor. Your teammate is going to be an agent, or some of your teammates are going to be agents. And
yeah,
those agents would also have fellow teammates that are agents. And, I went through the whole Microsoft, I think is the World Trend Index, Trend Index, and talks about the 3 different phases. And what a lot of us are probably going to become would be managers from day one. We're going to be probably managing agents. Early in career folks are going to start the job on day one and they're going to be managers, not managing other people, but probably digital labor and managing different projects with that digital labor. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And it's also going to be key for everyone who wants to continue to thrive in this space to understand how agents operate and to understand how to build agents, understand how to use agents, and understand the business problems they're going to solve. Another thing I see and I'm very excited about is the fact that fundamentally, people who don't have extensive experience in certain spaces are going to be able to create things in those spaces. I'm not a marketer, but if you go to LinkedIn, you see a video I made of an advertisement using a fictitious soda can, for example.
I'm going to put that in the chat now.
I've seen that. Yeah, you did. I've seen that one. I'm an avid follower of your posts, Derah. You know that. I think I like every one of them, buddy. So yeah.
So I'm not a marketer. I did one marketing course in school, but I'm not a graphic designer. But I was able to create that with natural language and with creativity. So we're going to see people who don't have extensive domain knowledge still thrive in different spaces, but they will only thrive if they know how to use these tools and if they're creative. So it's going to be an exciting future, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of this debate, isn't it, at the moment on like, are the creatives going to have more power in the world ahead, or is it more the analytical kind of people that are doing the coding? And because a lot of people believe that if you're a creative, there will be AI to kind of do the same thing, right? But I honestly believe, I think human creativity will flourish now. I think that's the year of it, right?
Yes.
And so,
And to that point, just on that point, Scott, there's a podcast I was listening to earlier today. It's not this one, but I will be listening to this one more often.
Oh, here we go.
Come on.
I listened to this one yesterday. I listened to this podcast yesterday.
All right, that's good. Yeah.
Go.
But it's a podcast. It's that invites product leaders to speak about the products they built or their career successes. And on 2 separate episodes of some of the leading AI products, the leaders in those companies said on 2 separate scenarios, they said that one skill will be very important, and that skill is taste. We're going to be able to build so much, but you have to have good taste to be able to build the right things that people would use and find valuable and love using.
Yes.
So we can build so much, but if you're not creative, if you don't have that sense of what humans would enjoy, you probably wouldn't achieve as much success as someone who does.
Yeah, I get that one as well.
Yeah.
I think circling back to one of your previous points about people coming to the workforce and managing agents instead of staff, I think one of the things that, I do a lot of is performance reviews, performance management and stuff like that. A performance review on an agent workforce is going to be completely different. Hey? It's going to be how accurate their task is, what the return on investment is, all of that kind of stuff.
Are
so
you
kind
going
of
to
a
be polite,
unique
mate?
way of looking at it.
I'm
always polite. You can ask anyone in my team, all right? I'm very polite when it comes to that. Another thing would also be, I agree with you regarding taste and stuff like that. I think we spoke about with Brian Cunningham, the role of the BA is going to become really quite unique, because they're front and center and they understand the actual business processes as well. So interested in your take of that, if you can kind of see the BA flourishing and starting to build out a lot of agents for their own workforce because they understand all the processes, so they really are going to be empowered with tools like Copilot Studio and all of the other intelligent automations you're going. So
I think just
interested in your take on that.
I think just before you answer that, I think also on the All In podcast, I was talking a lot about QA and, how important QA is going to be with hallucinations in the future. So I'd be interested on the BA role and the QA role because I reckon those two are just going to dominate. So yeah. What do you see? If someone's just getting out of uni right now, where's the career opportunity there?
Yes. like I said, we will figure this out as we go along. But I think, Matt, to your point, would the business analysts and people that actually understand the process be able to thrive? I think yes, but it's contingent. This is my opinion. I think it's contingent on them knowing how to build these AI solutions.
Yeah.
You can have all the knowledge, but if you don't know how to build what actually has the impact, then I don't think that they would thrive as much as those that have the knowledge but are able to build things that can transform your businesses. And
Yeah.
and Scott, to your question for QA, I was listening to someone else, a leader in the AI space, talking about how evals are going to be very important. Understanding how these models work and understanding the accuracy of these models. So I think on that point, being able to assess how models are performing for business processes, are able to refine those models and fine tune them and give them the right prompting and the right tools to execute tasks. That would also be a very important thing in my opinion.
You know what's really interesting? So we were in a major compete with a big bank a little while ago, and one of the things they highlighted now is like some of the business as usual AI. Like I want to transcript something, right? Like I just want to listen to the voice and transcribe it into text. Like very very simple thing now that we can get done.
Yeah.
But if it's not accurate, you can't have an agent pick up on anything, or it's going to go and do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Or if it's not accurate, you could make a mistake, in sentiment and analysis and all of these things. So what's happened is like a very simple thing that we've been doing for years now. The key importance, what they said to us is accuracy. So they put ours up against 2 or 3 others at Microsoft to see which is more accurate. And of course, Microsoft come on top. But this is the first time I've seen, to your point, which is like we have to deep dive into, there's a lot you can do with models, but if they're not actually delivering the outcome and actually working the way we'd expect them to do, it can actually cause more problems than fix them. So yeah, I could definitely see over the next year or two a lot more trialing and testing and just making sure that it actually does what we say it can do in the context. Because of course, in a greenfields environment, you can do anything, but in our big banks and big customers, as soon as you've got constraints around legacy security and governance and constraints around data access,
all this kind of stuff,
things just don't always work as expected. So we spend a lot of time kind of, so I think here's another prediction, Matt. I'll add this to our predictions in January, but I think next year is the year of the proof of concept even more. I think a lot of people are going to get hands-on with this stuff, which means, Derah, we're going to drag guys like you in all the time to kind of help us out and if we find a product-related issue. But fascinating.
When you say next year's proof of concept, what do you see people doing? How do you see people approaching that year?
I think there's such a fluctuation between what we call pre-sales in the industry. And for those listeners that don't know what pre-sales is, it's really talking and selling technology and the value of technology before someone's bought a product to convince them that it's going to beat the business process, right? So what I'm seeing a lot of proof of concepts really, and what a lot of customers saying is, we've got a lot of people coming in and telling us that agents can do all these things.
Yeah.
But actually when they actually get on the ground and deploy this stuff, it's not actually working.
Yes.
So I think the year of the proof of concept is, hey, we've got a sales agent that can check your pipeline and give you an update every day.
Yeah.
Right, show us.
Yeah.
Show us in our environment. Let's see it actually working.
Yeah.
And then we'll be convinced that it's a great agent.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see, we know we're rolling out about 30 agents this year. I think we're going to see, in my team, a lot of actual, let's just prove it and show that it works. So I'm really looking forward to it, because when it comes to engineering and proving stuff, Microsoft is very strong at it's one of their strong points.
Yeah.
So it's not often there's smoke and mirrors in any demo that we do. So
you're right. I think that's a good hunch. You do amazing demos and showcase to customers. But what they always ask is, okay, how can I get this now working for me fast? So if you're able to show that quickly to customers and show how it can actually impact their specific business with a proof of concept, that would be a faster way for them to use and onboard to that agent and the platform.
So quick question, change it in quite a slightly different direction. If people are looking at, your career path and wanting to kind of replicate that, and I'm sure there's lots and lots of people.
He's a celebrity in Australia now.
Yeah, celebrity status now.
Powertime. He's going
to
get
call out to the Power Hour crew. Yeah, call out to that later on today. So anyone listening, they can jump across to here to get a bit of a
deeper dive,
deeper dive into Derah. But day in the life, what's in your role? What's typically a week like for you? What you do, if anyone was looking to do that?
Yeah. So the product management role is such a fantastic role because every day can look very different. So I'll highlight a few things that I would typically do on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis. The first thing is just like pure focus time for me to sit down, have a document open, and create new ideas or go deep in a particular feature that we're trying to build. So if I'm working through something, I'll open a document, put myself on do not disturb, book some focus time, and just have it to scribble down ideas, of course, with my co-intelligence partner, some of these AI models. And then another thing I spend a lot of my time doing is actually doing proof of concepts. So sometimes you're trying to explain a vision, but if people can't see it or touch it or feel it, you can't sell it. So literally 2 weeks ago, I'm trying to convince my team, let's build this particular thing. And I just wasn't getting the point across. So I went and I used existing tools in the platform to create a hacky proof of concept. And I made a 3-minute video about it, went into a meeting, I played the video. And at the end of the meeting, they're like, I see what you're trying to do. Okay, let's go do it. So aside from creating the ideas, I spend time like prototyping or doing POC so that I can sell the vision, as well as spending time evangelizing products, right? And this is not always the role, part of the PM role, but it's something I enjoy doing. So I would spend time taking the products that I'm working on, the products that other people on the team have worked on, and evangelizing them and sharing them with other people. It's also part of the role is also giving guidance and setting strategy and direction for the teams you're working with. So we're working with engineering teams and design teams. So spending time with them to, if you have an idea, if you have market signals or customer signals, spending time with them maybe on a daily basis or every 2 days on a call and sharing those insights and answering questions and giving directions on what we're going to build and what we're not going to build. And a lot of the rules about communicating and having strong communication, not necessarily standing on stage and presenting, but how you're writing, how are you communicating via documents? How are you communicating via emails? How are you communicating via regular newsletters that give status updates on the things that you're doing? I'm trying to think of if there's any other.
That sounds amazing, Derah. I might resign from Get AI and come work with that. I might give Justin a call. He's a buddy of mine. So, Justin, if you're listening, I might send you my CV, mate. But
one of the guys in our team, Karthik, was doing that role in after he came back to Australia. So I get to hear some of the inside stories there as well. But I think what's amazing about Microsoft is the connection that we have to engineering. Yeah. I've worked at a few different companies now, and I've never seen such a tight relationship between the field and engineering. As much so, Tim, who's been on this podcast before, has he?
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't. No. When Tim comes on the podcast next, he can tell us, but he's over working with the CCAS team in Seattle right now with one of his accounts, looking at how they can create new contact center stuff. So, I think it's just that deep connection with the field just allows our products to thrive in that regard. So really
I'm just going to pull Derah up on something because you mentioned before not presenting on stage. Now, Derah, I first came across you at a certain conference where you were up on stage presenting. Do you want to kind of tell the audience about that potentially? Is that the first sort of big live presentation that you've done?
Was that the Power conference? Was that the Power?
Derah's gonna tell the story. So there you go, Derah.
Yeah. PPCC Vegas.
PPC Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, that was. So this day, when I think about it, I still get a few goosebumps because it was just a fantastic opportunity. Big shout out to my team, my managers, my leadership for giving me that opportunity, and trusting me to go and deliver and to showcase the product. So it was an absolutely incredible opportunity. It was a lot of preparation. I think I went over what I was going to say like 100 times. When I'm, before I go to bed, it's ringing in my mind what I'm going to say. When I'm on the bus, it's ringing in my mind what I'm going to say. But grateful for the opportunity. It was Power Platform Conference in Vegas last year. 6,000 people, probably the largest audience I've ever spoken in front of.
You got it.
And, that experience taught me a lot. Taught me that for big things like that, preparation is key. Like I mentioned, so much preparation went to that, so much refinement that people actually don't see. People just see you show up on the day, but they don't know the nights you spent polishing the demo, working with the engineering team to make sure everything was set, getting reviews from senior leaders. Preparation is key. Nothing can beat preparation. Secondly, it's also a lot about like the enthusiasm and energy that you bring. It's very infectious. So if you come up and show up in front of customers not very excited or not very energized, you probably get that same response from customers. But if you come with enthusiasm and excitement, man, especially with the community that we have in the Power Platform, customers will give you back that energy, and it makes you feel a lot better. It makes you feel a lot excited to show off what you're showing.
Completely agree. And there's a lot of fantastic presenters in the Microsoft team. And shout out to Ryan Cunningham. He's one of my favorites. So when Ryan gets up on the stage, it's magic. He always cracks a few jokes during his presentations as well, and he keeps everyone interested. But he's definitely one of the more engaging presenters as well. So
we're lucky. We've got an A team of leaders right now in the engineering team, because Charles is amazing when he presents as well. Satya is, of course, fantastic. Every time I see him on stage, and looking forward to seeing Charles, Ryan, and Satya maybe probably on stage in Seattle in July. I think it's just amazing talent. That's one of the standouts that at Microsoft that I see all the time is when you kind of come from another company into Microsoft, you could be the number one, you could be amazing, and Microsoft is like the level setter.
Yeah,
it's like there's just so much natural talent. You feel the competition, right, when you enter Microsoft, and it just never. I'm 8 years now, and I've never been able to take my foot off the gas, because you just feel it every year. It's such a hype. How have you gone in that highly competitive? Kind of, how do you manage that? Does it create stress, or are you okay with that?
Yeah. So, and this is one thing I think I really like about working at Microsoft. I know that people have different skill sets. Some people are skilled in some areas and others are not. But at least for the teams I've worked on, I've never seen people be prideful about their abilities. I've always seen a lot of like collaboration. If you're having struggles with an issue, people step in.
Yep.
I'm sure there are some instances where there's a lot of competition, but at least for my spaces, I've been privileged to work with people who are very collaborative, and I've also been able to see people that are so smart. I've worked with some people, some of my managers, just like, how do you know that? How are you that smart? How did you catch that and I didn't catch that? But as I was telling a friend recently, he said he was a bit nervous about taking up a new opportunity where people were much smarter than him. I said the way to get smart is to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. If you're not, if you're the smartest in the room, then you need to find a new room. So I love the fact that people here are so smart, so intelligent, so helpful, because it forces me to learn from them. It forces me to grow. And I admire a lot of people that I work with, because I've seen how intelligent they are. I in some aspects of the way they work, I want to be like them. I want to learn from them.
Yeah, that's a fantastic statement. I agree 100% with that.
Agreed.
I think if you're the smartest person in the room, go find another room. Right? And Microsoft really does elevate. And I see people all the time just kind of elevate which is great. So, yeah, awesome. So what are you thinking for the product now, changing gears into product?
Yeah.
What are you thinking we're likely to see, in this space over the next kind of 12 months from a product-related sense?
This concept of intelligent automation. Yeah, do you want to kind of delve into that and what that means? A lot of people understand automation, but intelligent automation has replaced the entire thing. So it'd be good to do a bit of understanding.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about in the last podcast how we think RPA is probably, merging into the new Copilot kind of features now, and and these things. So, computer
good use.
So I think Be interested, intelligent automation, computer use. Where do you think this is?
So on the intelligent automation side, if you think about classic automations, they're very deterministic. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, maybe have the condition branching off step 5, step 6, all the way to the end. Very deterministic. Come rain, come shine, that process will follow the same set of steps or X number of steps that you can't increase. So that's like classic automation. However, when you're talking about AI workflows or AI automations, you will still have some deterministic steps, deterministic triggers as well. But then in the mix, you would have AI actions. You have AI actions that using an LLM can give you a response for something or can go and take a particular action. So we're kind of transitioning from just purely deterministic automations to having some deterministic steps, but some of those other steps would involve LLMs giving a response, doing research, taking an action.
Reasoning.
And then if you want to go full-blown, more so agility, then you're talking about agents. You give it strategy, you give it goals, you give it a plan, and you give it tools, and it knows the right tools to use when to carry out a business process. And in the AI workflows and in the agents, you can have tools such as the computer using agents or computer use, where maybe a flow would pause and then it will trigger that action to go and do something on the web, to book something on the web, or to fill a particular legacy system as an example. That can be a tool used by the AI workflow or a tool used by the agent. So I think slowly we're going to transition more and more towards AI workflows where we have some deterministic actions mixed in with LLMs, and then some customers as well can use agents for more extensive agility across their business process.
It's interesting you say that. I was playing around with some API calls recently, and I was surprised at how the the language model will adjust the payload until it gets it right. So it'll retry, change, retry. So it's kind of like a self-healing kind of thing. So super impressed. And of course, Matt and I always talk about governance on the platform, and what does a world look like where you've got 1,000 of these agents who are trying different stuff running in an organization, an enterprise, right? We work in the enterprise. That's a pretty scary proposition, particularly when you fast forward a few years from now and the people that created them have left. And
particularly how easy it is to create agents as well. Yeah, it's not that hard to create an agent these days. Yes, it's not like that. So one of the things that I'm focusing on is governance. Vibe coding. Yeah, there's all the cursor stuff that's happening at the moment. All these vibe coders that put this cursor stuff out, it's getting hacked and all this kind of stuff. That's quite interesting. But I think governance is going to be key. I think also want to touch on when you and Sanya came over, you talked about this sort of AI mindset or AI process determination or something like that. I think you're going to speak on it on Power Hour, but do you want to kind of give the listeners of this podcast, the Power Time, about kind of that concept and what that means as well?
So yes, we were talking about the new automation mindset. So in this age of AI, how do companies adjust? How do they shift their mindset? And high level, the mindset goes from thinking about technology first to thinking about the business problem or the business outcome that you're trying to drive first. So oftentimes people will start with the technology and say, what can I use this technology to do? But we're saying flip that on its head. Start with what are the problems I'm trying to solve? What are the business metrics or business goals am I trying to move? It could be reducing cost. It could be increasing revenue. It could be increasing quality. It could be increasing the number of deals closed. Start with that and then look for the technology that can do that. And then finding the business goals or business outcomes. We talk about the 5 domains or 5 towers of automation. I can't remember all of them explicitly, but there are things like the back office or the front office, the employee experiences. There are different processes under that we've seen that exist across many of the companies in this space, across different domains. And we tell customers, pick one of those processes or pick a handful of those processes. Find the specific goals you're trying to drive or the metrics you're trying to move, and then pick the technology to do that. And of course, at that point, the technology you're picking to do that, we believe that the Power Platform has the best technology to do that. So that's the step. Business process outcome first, technology second.
Yeah, I completely agree. And what we've been running a lot is sort of more ideation sessions. Yeah, so coming in, working with businesses to really focus on business pain points, business problems, and at the end, then start to map solutions. There could be a solution with M365 Copilot leading to Copilot Studio, leading to all types of things. Yeah, but if you're not actually solving the business process, this is what Charles talks about as well. Yeah, focus on a key area. Yeah, that's important to your business. AI is not this silver bullet. It's going to click your fingers and going to solve all of my problems. You still need to focus on actually the core problem you're trying to solve. So I love that. And that really resonates with me as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Derah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. I'm sure Matt's got a couple of football-related questions, given his passion for sport before we wrap it up.
I have one more question before we're moving on to sport, because we've got Derah here. If anyone doesn't focus, have Derah on LinkedIn. Add him on LinkedIn. He's really up to date with everything that's going on. What's the most exciting thing that you're seeing in the future of AI as all of that kind of stuff? Because you post a lot of content as well. So what's the one thing that you're seeing that's just gone, oh, wow, I'm really excited for that to come, or really excited about the possibilities of that?
Yeah. So I'm a builder at heart. I just love to build things and create things. And of course, I did a minor in computer science, but my day job is not writing software. So if you don't use a skill, you kind of lose that skill, or you need a refresher on that skill. But a lot of these AI coding tools, man, it just blows my mind. That I can sit down, and they're not perfect, but I can sit down and create something just from the comfort of my home, just write in natural language, or give it a picture of something that I'm trying to build, and just watch it go and build.
Crazy,
It's just so. And so for a product person like me, where sometimes I want to build fast and get things out there, I'm really excited about the fact that with some of these coding and engineering tools, people who don't have extensive background, or people who don't code on a day-to-day basis, can use these tools to create and build things for themselves and for their businesses. I have a friend who literally coded his wedding website and he sent it to us. Just things like that. So that's one thing I'm very excited about, just being able to build products fast and get into people's hands a lot faster.
I love it. I think what the cool thing is when the AI actually provides the reasoning for its decision as well. That's the thing that really blows my mind. Hey, and as part of that prompt, it goes, here's what I'm thinking. That's right, bang. Then it starts to write the code like that. You're just like, wow. So definitely good. I definitely agree with you. Sport related. So I'm a big sport nuffy or sport fan. I always talk to Justin about sport. He's a massive Pittsburgh Steelers fan. For those who don't know, you mentioned before you used to follow the NBA. Who are you following in the NBA? Do you follow much sports still? NFL, all of that kind of stuff. Who are your teams? And then I can maybe give you crap or something like that if your team's any good. Because my team won the Super Bowl, so you've got nothing of me. So
I think so. I used to follow sports a lot more, but ever moving to like the West Coast and to the US, especially because timing on the West Coast is a lot harder for me to follow. Like now it's late afternoon here, and I'm sure some of the playoff games have started, but it's still the work
on right now.
Exactly.
So we got game 2 on right now.
So I don't follow it extensively as before, but I still have my teams. So I'm Canadian and my family's in Toronto, so I support the Toronto Raptors. We're not doing very well, but I support them. And then I pick out other players on other teams that I really like, and so when those teams are playing, I support them when they're playing. So I want to see LeBron James succeed. So I'm going to, root for the Lakers when they're playing. Unfortunately, they're out of the playoffs.
They got knocked out. Yeah.
And then moving to Seattle, I have to support the Seahawks because I'm in Seattle. But when Jalen Hurts is playing, I support the Eagles, for example. Or who else do I like? Yeah, when Lamar Jackson is playing, support the Ravens. Some of those teams. And then for soccer, as the Americans call it, but I guess you guys in Australia say football.
No, we're soccer. Football
too?
is Australian rules. Yeah.
Wow.
If you come over to Australia, I'll take you to an Australian rules game. Your mind will blow. And I'll have to explain all the rules during the game, which I'm happy to do so.
When I was there, you guys that have footy. Is that you guys?
Footies, AFL, yeah, footy,
What's
yeah, footy, AFL. Australian rules football.
Okay,
We abbreviate everything in Australia. Yeah, it's footy, and you'll notice that. We like to get through things fast. Yeah, so everything's an abbreviation. So yeah.
Got some education to do there, Matt. Well, Derah.
Yeah. Meat pie, a cold beer, and at the footy. We'll take Derah next time he's in Australia.
Yeah. Next time you're in, let's lock that in. Let's do that. So you can watch Matt's beloved Bulldogs.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back. But thanks again for coming on, Derah. It was like chatting to you. Like I said, we'll put a lot of content up and maybe links to Derah's socials as well. So if anyone's interested in following Derah's career journey, Derah's content that he pulls out, there's a lot of really great stuff that he puts on LinkedIn. But yeah, thanks again. I'm looking forward to connecting hopefully soon. I'll definitely see you at PPC this year. I'm going to book my flight soon, but hopefully see you again soon. So thanks again, mate.
I'll catch up with you in a couple of months, Derah.
Sure, thank you guys.
Awesome.
And one more thing, just for listeners, this is an advice I give to everyone. We're in a transformative time, so spend time learning how to use these tools. Spend time understanding how they work. Spend time learning what you can build with them, because I think that's what's going to be a huge differentiator in the near future. So if you had a chance to listen to this, please learn about AI and how to use these tools.
Fantastic advice, Derah. And your
man
career.
Of the people has spoken. Lenora, the man of the people has
voice
spoken.
Of the people.
All right? So the voice of the people. Sorry, man of the people, voice same thing.
Voice of the people. And your career is taking off. So awesome chatting to you. Let's chat soon.
For sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Hey there, just a quick reminder, everything we share on this podcast reflects our personal opinions and not those of Microsoft or any other organisation. If you're enjoying the show, we'd be thrilled if you could hit that follow button and leave us a review. Your support means the world and helps us keep bringing you great content.